Assalamualaikum guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Now, I am losing sunlight right now, so let's get started. Today what I'm going to be discussing is everybody's biggest fears. Now, I've narrowed it down to two things that everyone seems to be afraid of, regardless of who you are or what your personality type is, or who you think you are. So, today what we're going to be talking about is these two main fears that really stop people from reaching out to their goals or turning their dreams into action, like we talked about in the last video. And I've noticed that these two things, even though they are kind of polar opposites of each other, they correlate big time. And they really seem to just kind of bounce off each other and feed into that negative energy that stops us from reaching our goals. The two biggest fears that everyone has seems to be both invisibility and fear of the spotlight. So fear of invisibility, fear of the spotlight, which are two kind of opposite things, but I'll show you how they correlate in just a minute. Now, these two things might not seem to make sense, especially because, you know, everyone wants their goals and their dreams to not go unnoticed, and no one seems to fear the spotlight. Everyone wants the spotlight. So why are those two things what stop us the most from reaching our goals? And I'll tell you why. So whenever we decide to really start dreaming big, and really trying to take action on the goals that we've placed for ourselves, I know you can relate to this. The what if questions really start filtering in, you know, what if this happens, what if that happens? And there's two of these main what ifs that really come into your mind. It's what if this idea that makes me so passionate and so excited to go out and chase, whether it's a job or a relationship, whatever it is that you're after personally, what if this thing that makes me so happy ends up not being as great as I think it's gonna be and ends up making people turn on me and making me isolate myself, basically. So again, the fear of invisibility, making you invisible because of something that you love. Whether it's rejection of society or just yourself not liking it, that's definitely a big what if that comes into a lot of people's minds. The second what if is, what if it works out? What if success? Then what? Do I have the stamina to keep it up? Am I gonna be able to achieve everything that I want to, or is it just gonna all crumble in front of me? You know, that's a really big fear that a lot of people have, including myself. You know, there's that, it's that constant conflict of, I don't want to be invisible, I want to chase success, but what if I'm successful and I can't handle it and my world comes crumbling down? And I just lost light. Anyway, so how do we overcome these two fears that seem to possess us and keep us from those goals? My biggest tip is don't run from them, because usually the what ifs and the fears that we have aren't as big as we make them seem they are. Honestly, most of the time it's just our minds making up these horrible fake scenarios that scare the crap out of us, when really what could go wrong isn't all that bad. I'll give you an example. First, think of the instance that could go wrong, the thing that's scaring you. What could possibly go the most wrong about what's happening? Usually you'll realize that what could go the most wrong isn't really a life or death situation, and that you will survive it even if that does happen. And then think about what the best case scenario is. Think of your dream and it just coming true. And think of what would happen if you worked your ass off and you just reached that goal that you've been dreaming of. That best scenario, usually, for the most part, will override whatever fears you have about things going wrong. So I want you to do two things for me. Number one is realize that you have a superpower within you to realize that those what ifs and those barriers are really just made up scenarios in your head that you can overcome, and that you can tell yourself that, no, these scenarios that I'm thinking of right now are fake. I don't even know if they're gonna happen or if they're not. It's a 50-50 chance, so why not go for it and aim for success? And if you don't reach the goal you're looking for, it's still a learning experience. And learning experiences are still some of the most rewarding instances of your life. And number two is realize that when you make this conscious decision to block out all the what ifs and just go for your dreams, you can overcome anything and achieve anything that you put your mind to. And you really have to realize that you do have that power. As much as everyone says it, it is true. And remember, your greatest accomplishments often come when you are the most uncomfortable. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for stopping by. Please like and subscribe and share if you found this helpful. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Assalamualaikum. Bye.